excellent entertainment. It's all about cowboys and horses. The whole weekend, it's about cowboys and horses, and it's not made up. It's real. They're real cowboys and real horses, and the real cowboys are singing, and the real cowboys are around the campfire, and you probably have some ash in your coffee, but that's the way it is, because that's really the way it is.
I was in kind of a bad deal. Tried to get out of a bad deal, and it ended up being a bad deal. See, I was having a bit of a problem of late in the ways of getting myself a date, so I decided that I'd indulge in the latest of fads. So I rode into town and got me a form, and I wrote out all my glory and charm, and I sent this little description to the personal ads. It said, single white cowboy, 6'1", 200 pounds, and lots of fun. Cute as a puppy and handy in the chutes. I won't wear nothing but Wrangler. No, Justin boots. Now I got my clothing wearing on this Sonora.
I kicked over your shirt.
Yeah,
That's screwed up.
Won't wear nothing but Justin boots. I wear Wrangler jeans, chew Copenhagen snuff. I drink Coors Light beer, and I'm pretty tough. But I'm gentle as a kitten. I say please and thanks, drive a brand new Ford, and got money in the bank. I rode pro rodeo last 5 years, saddle broncs, barebacks, bulls, and steers. I cover my head with Stetson hats. I like old blue heelers, and I'm fond of cats. I keep a neat house, and I will settle down, and come next year, I'm finals bound. Well, that's what I wrote, but, well, it didn't take long till I was figured out. And that first date realized I'd lied about my qualifications when it came to the cowboy way. So she shamed me into redoing my ad, and though to read it, it makes me sad, I went back and wrote what my ad should really say. It said, divorced twice and lonely. I can't keep a wife. I couldn't ride a horse to save my life. I never rode bulls, never roped calves, and as far as that money, I've spent both halves. I'm kind of scraggly looking, drive a beat-up truck. I usually roll into town on fumes and luck. I wear a beat-up hand-me-down Mexican hat. I don't own no dogs, and I hate cats. I'm about 5'10" and 300 pounds. I can't own a horse because I live in town. I drink Old Milwaukee. I ain't that tough. I got sick one time when I tried to chew snuff. My manners escaped me, and my house is a pig pen. And just like last year, I'll be watching the finals on ESPN.
I used to think that horses were stupid, but so I think they can read your mind. I can't prove it, but we'll be sorting horses or something, and we'll have, and these horses will have never worked together. We'll have 200-300 head of horses in the corral, and these horses will have never worked together, and we'll sort them off from their summer jobs to where they're going to go, and we'll be just sitting there talking about it. Renee will have a horse list about which horses go to which place, and which ones we're going to send to a place. Never worked together. And we'll look down the alley, and there'll be 4 or 5 of them horses that are on that sheet of 10 that'll already be standing together. Can't explain it, but there is a psychology there, and I don't know, maybe they know more than we do, and they're just letting us get away with it. A guest ranch will call me and say all of our horses are junk, and they'll be the same horses they had the year before. So what we've started doing is we say, all right, you don't know anything about horses yourselves, and usually the guest ranch owners don't. So I say, all right, make every wrangler ride every horse. And you'll find that the same guy will have the same problems as every one of them. And usually the one that'll get along with the horses the best will be some little girl. And that's just because she likes them, and those horses know it. 1965, or 64, my dad didn't own a horse. And he went to Grand Teton Lodge Company in Wyoming, just south of Yellowstone in Teton National Park. He showed them the math on how much it was costing them to own their horses as opposed to what it would cost them to just lease them for the summer. Remember, he didn't own any yet. This was in the winter that he went up there, and he talked him into renting horses. And he got a loan, and he went to buying horses and breaking them. Of course, back then they had some guys that could ride a few, wranglers that were working at the ranch. And I don't remember how big the first contract was. I think it was 60 or 100 head or something like that, but it was a substantial amount of horses. But that's how he got started, and I was raised in this business. My granddad homesteaded in Colorado in 1918, and he, right in the bottom of a canyon, he raised 5 kids, just exactly like it was the 1800s. He never learned to drive till he was 50 years old, and he raised his kids just about as rough as you can raise them. They all knew how to ride, they all knew how to rope, and they knew how to do about everything. And they were bronc riders and ropers, and there wasn't nothing they couldn't do a horseback when they come out of there. Those kids scattered out of there, and when they were raised as poor as they were, they knew they wasn't going to stay that deal. So my uncle started renting horses in Colorado in the 50s, late 50s, and he teamed up with my aunt and her husband, and then my dad learned a little bit from them. He went to Wyoming and done the same thing, and now we're in Montana, and we're leasing horses. So I guess the next generation will be in Canada.